One of the problems with act utilitarianism is that it doesn't seem to deal well with collective action problems. What are collective action problems? These are situations in which we get certain benefits or avoid certain problems if everyone works together and agrees to act in certain ways. But in order to get the benefits, right, we have to coordinate people's actions, and we have some difficulty doing so. Here's an example I saw in a movie a few years ago. It was called The Queen of Mean. Right? Suzanne Pleshette was playing Leona Helmsley, right, who was who was very wealthy and had a reputation for being very ruthless. Right? She's the one who's famous for supposedly saying only the poor pay taxes. In this movie, right, she was trying to take over a building, right, basically trying to make an apartment building go condo. And the tenants had organized, right? She was offering everyone a certain amount of money, maybe a little more than she would have to, in order to buy them out, right? Buy them out of their lease so that she could turn the apartment into condominiums, right? Now, all of them would rather keep their apartment, maybe even a rent-controlled apartment. Right? All of them would rather keep their apartment, right, than get the extra money she was offering. Right? But what's the problem? They're all afraid that if they don't take her offer, enough of their neighbors will. And if enough of their neighbors take the offer, right, then she'll get the numbers she needs to force the others, right, to either pay for the condo they can't afford or be evicted. Right? So they're all thinking, if I don't take the offer, I'm going to end up with nothing. Right? They would all prefer the outcome if all of them held firm, right, didn't accept the offer, right, and kept their rent-controlled apartments. Right? But they're all afraid to act in that way, right, because if they do so, right, they're all afraid that the other people will cave in. Right? The other people will get frightened, cave in, and they'll end up worse off. Right? Other examples of collective action problems are littering. Right? We would all prefer, okay, a litter-free community. But right, a lot of times people think, well, why should I bother to be the one that doesn't litter? Right? It's some extra effort to avoid littering, right? And someone else is just going to litter, right? So I'm not going to get the litter-free community anyway, and we don't have a good way to enforce the rules, right? So I might as well go ahead and litter because I'm never going to get the benefit, so why should I make the sacrifice? Well, if everybody thinks that way, we end up with a lot more litter than anyone wants. Right? Those are examples of collective action problems. Right? And of course, one that I gave earlier in this presentation is voting. Right? One of the problems is, how do we convince people, even if you have a strong interest in doing something else rather than voting, we need you to go vote, because if enough people stay home, then it damages the system. Right? Act utilitarianism has more trouble than rule utilitarianism explaining why people should hold firm, right, and do the thing that they want everyone else to do.